Hello everyone, welcome back to Super Sam Goes Super Saiyan. I hope you guys are doing good today. As always, we're going to be drawing, so if you have your tablet or a sketchbook out, feel free to follow along. And let's have a good time today. Today I thought I'd try a little something different. I thought I'd try to do maybe a little series on turning movies into anime. So I have interest in filmmaking. I've never studied it. It's just a bit of a dream of mine. And I always believe that copying is the best way to learn. You copy people who are professional, who are masters at their craft, and you learn from them. You learn their techniques and their tricks. And like I said, you do that by copying, right? And so today I just want to try to draw a few scenes from a movie. Now, I'm no good at drawing realistic art. I've always been more of a cartoony manga style artist. And anyway, it's not that much fun to completely replicate something that's already good. It's, you want to create something a bit original, maybe something a bit unique. And so that's what I want to try to do today. The movie I've selected is Sicario 2, Day of the Soldado. It's a movie about Mexican cartel wars. Just kind of showing like the things that happen in all the cartel business, drug business, smuggling business, all that. The first movie was good, very good. That was my favorite one. The second one, maybe not so much, but today I don't have that movie, which is why I've chosen the second one to work on today. Anyways, so this movie starts off by showing us a dramatic scene of a sort of a police chase, I guess. They're sort of hunting these people who've smuggled their way across the border, and there's a helicopter here, which is what I'm drawing right now. I've never drawn a helicopter before, so this is going to be a bit tricky. And it's a very dark scene. It's at nighttime. Funny story though. When I was in Mexico, I visited the border at Tijuana. Just next to the San Diego border. And while I was there, I was literally standing right next to the big fence, that's separating Mexico from America. And all of a sudden, from behind, these Mexican people show up. One guy has a ladder, other guy has a walkie-talkie. And they just immediately, like professionals, because they are professionals, they place the ladder against the fence. then one fellow very quickly just climbs up the ladder. Very quickly. Runs up the ladder. And he jumps across. And you know, there's no ladder on the other side, so he has to jump maybe about a bit more than a 2-story height. He jumps across, and he just starts booking it for America. And there's one other guy on the Mexican side on his cell phone or walkie-talkie, I can't quite remember, and he's just saying something. He wasn't communicating with the guy running because that guy was just booking it. He wasn't on the phone or anything. I guess he was talking with other maybe Mexican people, kind of keeping an eye on the border patrol and stuff like that, just making sure that the way was clear. And just makes you realize, like, they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing and they're good at it, so it seemed really natural. And the funny thing is that on the Mexican side, you know, the area where I was standing was sort of a tourist area, so there were a lot of people. There was a park with kids, just people doing regular things, skateboarding, walking, just having a good time, and just happens in the midst of all of it, and everyone's watching, everyone sees it. I think, well, I wanted to take out my phone and film it. I think one of my friends there actually did. And no one really cared. It was just, I guess, a normal event for them to see that happening. So that's just a interesting little story, I guess. Alright, so there's the helicopter, and he's floating up above, and there's some bushes here. It's a very desert-like area. And over here, this area that I've drawn for myself, we have the people running. They're booking it. Some bushes here and there. And finally, we have the people down here. One guy's got a sombrero on. Well, not a sombrero, in Spanish, sombrero just means hat, so technically it is a sombrero, but not in the sense that maybe it is a sombrero, I'm actually not too sure. Wearing his hat, let's say. Just running for it. He's got his bag with him. 2 more people down here. All with their bags. And this circle right here, that's the flashlight that's just really brightly shining down on them. And this guy right here, he's really casting a big shadow. Now, as it is nighttime, all this is just really dark. It's really dark. So let's see if I can just quickly give all this an outline, and we'll try to maybe color it in a little bit. There are some really great vehicle artists out there, particularly in the Japanese artist community. They have enough proficient knowledge on how to draw vehicles, and at the same time they add their own personal flair to those vehicles. So the vehicles are believable, but at the same time they're beautiful. Vehicles are beautiful nonetheless, but just to really see the artist's interpretation of it is really cool. I really like vehicles. Partially because vehicles have a lot of resemblance to real life things. For example, the tail fin I'm drawing now is very reminiscent of a shark's fin. As I'm drawing it, I was just thinking, man, know, this... If this tail part wasn't connected to this helicopter here, you might be confused and actually take it for an animal that I was drawing. Who knows? There. Let's work on the cockpit a little bit. It's got this ski landing gear. And isn't that funny? Who would have thought? Ski landing gear. I wonder if they ever tested helicopters with wheels. Who knows? Maybe there are helicopters with wheels. There are all sorts of fascinating, nutty ideas out there. I mean, if you really think about it, the fact that helicopters have ski landing gears is very interesting in itself. You know, who would have thought? Well, people are smart, so they figure it out. And the rotor on top. Like I said, this is the first time I've ever drawn a helicopter before. I've literally never tried to... Oh, wait, no, there was maybe twice I've drawn a helicopter. Say, a Russian cargo helicopter. I can't remember the name of it. Yeah, it's not in my head, but I've drawn it from the side. Now, if anybody here has even just a bit of experience in drawing, you will know that just because you draw something from the side does not mean that you know how to draw something from another angle. It is a completely different story. What I'm doing right now is I'm looking at the helicopter in the movie, and I'm just trying to break it down into simple shapes, into just simple objects, really. For example, you have the body here, and you can really just think of this body as a sort of, let me bring out a new layer so I don't have to erase everything. You just think of it as a sort of box, you know. That's literally all that this helicopter is right here, is just a box. So you know that it's a box, and you know the direction it's facing in. It's like this. It's facing towards the top left. And you try to find the parts of it that really stick out to you. For example, as I was drawing this helicopter, this part right here really stuck out to me. I don't think there's any reason. I think that's just kind of my personal view as an artist. That's my eye. That's the way my eye sees things. I saw this top part right here, and for some reason I really like this curve. It's very gentle. It's very pretty. I don't know why. It's just, like I said, it's my eye. It's my view of how I see things. And then the nose as well, you know, that really stuck out to me. I like the pointy parts of aircraft or cars or anything. I like this because it's cute. It's very, you know, it's like just a little stubby nose that this helicopter has. And those things stuck out to me. And that's kind of what I try to focus on when I was drawing the helicopter, you know. So I started here. I started with the top part with a gentle curve that I liked. And then I moved down with the cockpit. Very easy, you know. It was at an angle like this, you know. And then I just drew that cute little nose that it had. And then the rest of the lines I followed down. The body went down like this. The other part would go down like this. And of course you have this engine on top. Which again is the same thing, it's just a box. You just draw a box like that. And voila, you've got it. Look at that. It's basically the spitting image of what I drew. So you draw the box, you know, just kind of fill it in like that, and you're just following the lines, you know, because everything will follow the rules. Everything will follow because these boxes I've drawn, these are following the laws of perspective. These are following the laws of, I don't know, I'm no authority on all this, but the law of object permanence, I guess, you know, so as long as you understand that all these laws are unchanging, all you need to do is follow it. You just follow the law. And then I had the tail, and the tail is easy because it's basically, if we were looking at it from behind the helicopter, we would just see this very thin line probably. So we can just think of it as a sort of like a paper thin line, and it's just going like that. The fin is the same thing. Just draw the fin simply, and you connect it to the body, and there you go. You have a helicopter. You add on the rotor on top with the circle, maybe add a few lines for the rotors. There you go. Basically done. And of course, all this perspective stuff takes a little bit of practice, but it's actually very simple concepts to grasp. It's not hard at all. The tricky part comes in with measurement and, measurement. And there's, as far as I know for now, is distance and angles. So what do I mean by that? Well, for example, this helicopter I drew here, well, it could be very different if I had perhaps shortened the distance like this. You see that? You see how this line here is much longer than that? And it would actually come out to be a completely different product. It's completely different. And it takes practice to be able to measure. And then angles, where angles come in is where, for example, here we have the helicopter body, but the front part of it, where the cockpit is, it doesn't go like this. The nose is not flat like this. The top isn't completely flat like that. What they have is a lot of angles and curved lines. So the cockpit actually comes down a bit of an angle like this, and even down here the nose will come out at an even greater angle, just to stick out of the body a little bit. And the top will have the curved line like that. And all that helps to create the picture. It helps to create a more lovely picture. And again, all that stuff takes a bit of practice, takes a bit of training the eye. It won't come naturally. It requires practice. And it can be frustrating at times. But if you persevere, you will have attained skills that you can take with you for the rest of your life. That's priceless. Alright, well, let's continue. I've been babbling a bit too long there. Helicopter here has a big flashlight. I'm not exactly sure how it's connected, so I'm just gonna draw a sort of pole sticking out of the front there. And actually, interesting. I just realized this now. That's not the camera or the flashlight. It's actually here in the tail area. That's interesting. I didn't realize that. Okay. Now, let's move on to the people. Helicopters are interesting, but people are more interesting. Got people down here running away. I've never tried trying all this stuff before. Just trying to do it by eye, I guess. You do it by eye, but at the same time you apply knowledge that you maybe already know, already have. And the only way to gain knowledge is to learn. Practicing is an essential part of becoming better at something. But it's important that we don't neglect learning. Because you can practice something and get real good at it. But the problem with that is that if you only practice and you only practice the same thing over and over, what ends up happening is you will probably hit a point where you know you are good at what you have practiced, but you want more. You want more than just that. You want to expand and draw new things. And just because you've put in a lot of effort, a lot of time, learning whatever it is that you were learning, doesn't mean that a new sort of area will come easily to you. you'll need to practice that new thing as well. So it's important that you don't just spend all your time practicing, you put in some time to study new things that you might not find all that interesting at the time. For example, perspective, color, shading, light. Well, that's part of shading. Light, shadow, figure drawing, form, shapes, geometry, even measuring. Oh man, measuring. That's like, it's so tedious because it's almost as if you're doing science. You're measuring. You're finding the perfect angles. And it takes a long time. Anyways, all these things that you might not find interesting at the time, if you spread out your study, guaranteed your art will be more rounded, more beautiful, more interesting, more unique. Because in your art, all that knowledge will come out. And it'll do great things for your art. Maybe make it more dramatic, make it more beautiful, make it more vivid, more real, more entertaining. There's something that again, don't take my words for fact, but I heard somewhere that Chopin, the classical piano player, or was it Mozart? Anyways, somebody famous, let's leave it at that. Somebody famous once said, somebody famous in the piano area once said, if you want to excel in piano, learn how to sing. And maybe to some that comes as a bit of a shock, because, well, why would I learn how to sing? Maybe you're even learning piano because you don't like singing and you don't want to sing, but you still love music, so you devoted your time to piano. Why would I spend precious practice time on piano? Singing. Well, because in piano, if you just play the notes as they are written, you're doing everything right, you've got the right tempo, all the notes are on tempo, you're not playing any wrong notes, you're even adding the dynamics, quiet, piano, forte, loud. Maybe you can play the pieces quick and impressively. It'll be good. But it will still be lacking. And that's why art is such a fun thing to be a part of, because there's always something to learn. When you sing, saying something through the song. You're communicating love, you're communicating sadness, happiness, anger, all kinds of things. And if you know how to do that, you can also do it through the piano. And so no longer would you just be playing the piece on time, no wrong notes, but now you would be playing the piece your way, unique to you, making it your own. If I were to try to give an example of what I'm talking about, this is the best example I can think of. I don't know if it will help, but if you've ever seen those videos where people will draw portraits of people's faces, usually celebrities, recognizable celebrities, some people are so good that they will draw them literally like it was a photograph. You would look at it and you would quite literally think that they just printed out a picture of that celebrity. And you're impressed. It's cool. It's good. But then, how long do you sit there admiring that work? A few minutes? It's cool for sure. And I don't know, maybe you'll sit there for a long time really admiring it. But as time goes by, you go back to it and you go, you know, I've seen this already before. It's not as interesting as the first time I saw it. But then you take the other side where you see a cartoonist that you like. You know what, this isn't a very good example, but as I was giving out this example, I just thought of a better one. I'm sorry, let me start over. Think of it like a joke. You hear a joke once, and it makes you laugh, you crack up. You laugh, you could laugh to the very pit of your stomach, you could laugh till it hurts. And it would have been great. Then someone comes up to you and tells that joke to you again. Do you laugh again? No. No, you don't. Why? Because it's the exact same substance. It's the exact same substance. They've given you nothing different. They've given you the exact words, maybe the exact timing, and it won't have the effect on you as it did before. That's kind of what happens when you do art in a perfect way. You know, if you're just trying to copy a drawing exactly as it is, it won't be that interesting. You'll just be giving out the same substance. But if you are able to gather in different knowledge different experiences, different practices, you can combine those things and make it into something completely different, something new. Like what I'm doing now. I'm literally copying this scene from a movie, but I'm not copying it picture perfect. I'm drawing it in a cartoony way. And that gives a sort of a new and exciting perspective on it. Because it's not the same substance. You're looking at it a bit differently. With my knowledge, my experience put into it. And hopefully I've made even just a tiny bit of sense there, but that's why it's so important to spread out your knowledge, experience a lot of things. Don't just do one thing. Try a lot of things. I often find that the experiences I've had before, though they were unrelated to what I'm doing now, it actually comes to help me. Anyways, let's get this drawing finished up. And actually, that's part of the reason why I wanted to try this, making movies into manga style drawings. I wanted to expand my horizons, you could say. If you noticed before, I was drawing military people, uniforms and stuff. But each drawing I was a little bit dissatisfied with. And the reason was because there was no background. I was actually only drawing the people. And I wasn't drawing it from an interesting perspective. It was head on. It was a profile perspective, I think it's called. And that's not interesting. It's not very interesting. Drawing a person like this is much less interesting than drawing them maybe something like this, from above, a bird's eye view, There's a little birdie flying by. That's already a lot more interesting rather than maybe something like this. Or even, it's just not as interesting. And so I thought to myself, well, what better way than try to practice backgrounds and sort of telling a story through your picture than a movie. That's the epitome of telling a story through a picture. Because you don't just have the picture, you've got music, you've got acting, you've got costume design, all this kind of stuff, timing. It's all there. So why not challenge myself a little bit? And that's actually why I'm doing this today. So this is kind of the first scene. We see the people running. We see the helicopter up in the air, and oh, by the way, this whole part is caught in the camera, so it's like this. It's better. Let me see if I can add some shading or kind of color to this. I'm actually not very familiar with Clip Studio Paint, Clip Studio Pro. So I don't know how to use all the nice techniques of filling in color and all that. I'll learn one day. That's part of my having to grow process. That's part of my expanding my horizons, is learning how to use this program. Oops. around the helicopter is a little bit less darker, so let's choose oops, not there, that's where the light is. Let's just color this all in, even though that's not really part of the screen in the movie. Just to really get our whole atmosphere going. There we go, that already looks a lot better now. Let's try to add some color to the folks down here. This guy down here's got a little nice blue shirt there. It's a little bit darker on the sleeves. There we go. Maybe add a bit darker. There we go. Nice. The sombrero is a bit yellow, but still very bright because of the light. There we go. Something like that. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm also not very good at color. But that's okay. In time. People over here have these heads of black hair. This guy over here has got a black duffel bag. This person's how do I say, their coat is completely white because of the bright light shining down. Oh, that's too blue. This guy over here has got a bit of brown going on. There we go. And the pants are a bit darker than that. Let's go back. There we go. Let's add a bit of dark greenish color to these plants over here. That's emanating from here is a little bit blue, actually. A bit lighter than that. And actually, oh, I like this. This helicopter is completely black. let's make it that way. That's cool. That's cool. And even the sort of whole area around here like that, that's all black. Oh, no. Okay, sorry. It's not the best drawing in the world, but I'm happy with it because I feel like I've learned a lot today from drawing this. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed today's stream. I also hope that if you were drawing along, that you've also drawn something nice and that you've also learned something from what you've drawn. And so thank you guys so much for joining me today. I hope to see you guys again next time. Until then, have a great day or a good night, and I'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.